Hi Divya, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Divya, the timing will be same or it will be changing again?
Maximum it will be same. If there is a chance, we will change it to 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And if everyone is okay with that time, or else we will continue with the same timing, 8 to 9.
Yeah, last time I joined because of the time and my office meeting.
Okay.
I
So
had
7 o'clock timing is not suitable for you?
yes, yes.
No problem. Then we can continue at 8 o'clock only. Okay.
Okay, thanks Divya.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, let's continue with yesterday's class. So yesterday we understood how to create the database, right? And what is, we need to activate the database every time before using, right? So currently no database is in activation and I wanted to use this SQL demo. So I need to activate it first, right? By executing this use, the syntax will be use database name, right? So I'm just selecting this, executing. Now you can see the database is got activated, right? Now let's create our first table as we saw yesterday, and this is the syntax for create table, right? Create table, table name, and how many columns we want. We need to define the column names within the brackets, okay? And for every column name, we need to define the data type also. Second. Okay, so before creating our table, first let's try to understand what is data type. Okay. So data type. So what is data type in the sense? Data type will only decide what kind of values we can enter in any table. So data types will decide what kind of values we can enter in any table. This is the definition of data type. So let's see it to understand it perfectly. Suppose this is a table, right? Yesterday we used employees table. The table name is employees. We have 4 columns here: employee ID, employee name, salary, and date of joining. Right? Of course, this is an Excel file. And in this Excel file, for example, here in the second row for employee ID 2, salary instead of 50,000, if I randomly wrote anything, okay, if I randomly write hello, it is accepting, right? In Excel file, this is as I said yesterday, we have so many disadvantages or limitations in Excel file. That's where databases came into existence, right? So going forward, we will understand, we will discuss all the limitations, but out of them, this is one of the limitation. That is, whatever we enter in Excel file, it will just accept. It won't throw any error. If we are, if you are entering any wrong data, any irrelevant data also, it will just accept as it is. For example, this is salary column. Definitely we need to enter numbers only, right? But still, whenever I'm entering any textual data, I just entered hello and it just accepted. It is not throwing me any error stating, okay, this is salary column, you need to enter numbers only, but you wrote some textual data which is wrong, right? It is not giving us any such messages. It is not throwing us any errors. It is just accepting whatever we give. And for example, this is date of joining column. As we know, if it is date of joining, definitely we need to enter dates only. But instead of date, if I'm entering any random data, it is accepting, right? So this is one of the biggest drawback of Excel file. If we enter any wrong data, irrelevant data, it will just accept. It won't throw any error. It will accept whatever we enter, right? Whenever we are maintaining this much of data, yesterday we took some example of Amazon and all, right? On daily basis they will store so much of data, correct? So whenever we are dealing with this huge volumes of data, if we are maintaining such systems where whatever we enter, whatever we give, it is accepting without checking or without throwing us any errors, it will leads to the mistakes, right? So definitely we should maintain a system such a way that if we enter any wrong data or irrelevant data, it should throw us error. It should give us alert stating that whatever data you are entering, that is wrong, correct? So this problem we will overcome in databases with this data types concept. In Excel file, it won't throw the error, it will just accept. But this is a limitation of Excel file, and this limitation, this problem is overcome in databases with the help of data types. Data types in the sense, whenever we are defining any column name, we need to define the data type for that particular column. And according to that data type only, we can enter the data. For example, that is what I wrote. Data types will only decide what kind of values, what type of values. I mean, if you wanted to give numbers, if you wanted to give dates, if you wanted to give textual data, accordingly we need to define the data types, and accordingly only we can able to allow the data. Okay, it will allow the data. First, let's see how many types of data types are there. Okay, mostly we have numeric data type. Okay, then character data type, character or string, anything is fine. Character or string data type. The third one is date time data type. Mostly these three data types we will use in real time. Okay, numeric data type. Numeric data type in a sense, definitely whenever we wanted to give numbers, we will use numeric data type. Character or string data type. Whenever we wanted to use textual data, we will use this data type. Date time data type. Whenever we wanted to give dates or times, we will use this particular data type. Okay, so now what will happen in tables, whenever in databases, whenever we are creating tables, whenever we are defining column names, we need to define the data type. For employee ID, if I wanted to give numbers, I will use numeric data type. For employee name, character data type. Salary, again numeric data type. Date of joining, date time data type, right? Accordingly we need to define, and accordingly it will allow allow us to enter the data. For example, for salary column, if I define numeric data type, and if I am entering textual data, it won't accept, right? It will throw us error, like that. Okay, this problem, whatever we will face in Excel file, is overcome in databases by using this data types concept. Okay, along with this three, we have one more data type, that is Boolean. Mostly we'll use the first three data types only, but we have one more, that is Boolean data, where it will we can able to will allow yes or no. Okay, so again, numeric data type, it again further divides into two types. One is int and the second one is float. Okay, int in the sense, it will allow numbers. Whenever we wanted to give only numbers, we can define int data type. Okay, float in the sense, along with allows numbers and decimal values. Along with numbers, if suppose sometimes we will enter numbers also, right? If it is salary column, I can give 2.3 lakhs, 4.5, 1.2, like that. Decimal values also we can, we need to enter sometimes, right? So int won't allow decimal values, only normal numbers it will allow. Whenever we can expect, whenever we think that we may get some decimal values, at that time we need to define float. Float will accept normal numbers also. If we are entering 24 also, it will accept. If you are entering 24.2 also, it will accept. Okay, like that. I hope it is clear.
Yes, Divya.
Perfect. Next, we have character or string data. Whenever we wanted to define textual data, we need to define this particular data type. And here also we have two data types. One is char and the second one is varchar. Okay, char and varchar. What is char and what is varchar? What is the difference between them? We will discuss going forward. But here, let me tell you one more point. Whenever we define textual data, we need to define size also. Okay. We'll discuss about this particular thing by taking one example going forward. Okay. Now let's see date time data type. So here also again two data types are there. One is date data type and the second one is date time data type. Only dates if you wanted to enter, you can use date data type. Along with the dates, if you wanted to use date time, then you, along with the dates, if you wanted to use time also, then we need to use date time data type. Okay. And we have some formats here. For date, format will be year, month, date. Like this. This format only SQL will accept. MySQL will accept. If you try to enter in any other format like first date, then month, then year, it won't accept. It will throw us error. So whenever we wanted to enter date, definitely we need to follow this format only. And for date time also we have a format that is year, month, date, and then hour, minute, second. Okay, this format we need to use. This will be date, this will be time, right? So we have mainly four types of data types. One is numeric data type. Again, numeric data type divides into two types, int and float. Int will accept only numbers. Float will accept numbers and decimal values. Okay, whenever you wanted to enter any numeric data, you can decide if you are expecting decimal values in your data, you need to define float. If there is no decimal values, if you are sure no decimal values, then you can something like age, right? Age column. We don't give decimal values, we will give only numbers. So we can go with int like that. Okay. Next, character or string. Whenever you wanted to enter textual data, you can use this particular data type. We have two types here, char and varchar. While creating the table, with an example, I'll discuss about this data type clearly. Okay. Next, date time data type. Just now I said date and date type. Only dates if you wanted to use. You can use date data type, and we need to follow this format. If you wanted to give time also, then we need to use date time data type, and the format is this one. Okay. And Boolean data type, very rarely you can able to find this. If you only if you only wanted to use true or false or yes or no, then you can use this Boolean data type. Okay, mainly true or false, I can say. Sorry, it's not yes and no, true or false. Okay, so this is about data types. Okay. Now, as we understood about the data types, let's create our first table. I'm just copying the syntax and I'll paste it at the bottom. And let's create our first table. Create table, maybe the same employees table. I'm giving the table name as employees, whatever we wrote in Excel file. Table name is employees, and this 4 column names as it is will create it. Okay, table name I gave. Within the brackets, I need to define the column name. So my first column is employee ID. Yes, any doubts, anyone?
Actually, here the data size means what I didn't get that actually. In the numeric, not in the char you told, right? Char and where
Yeah,
char.
data types.
Data
Okay.
size, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Data size means what here? I didn't get it actually.
Okay.
Means
It
it is
is.
yeah,
Let me
means it is a
explain once again. Let me explain once again. It is a
okay.
data type. Okay. So, what is the problem here in Excel file? Yesterday I said that we can even store data in Excel files also. But why databases came into existence in the sense we have some limitations or disadvantages in Excel file. That's where databases came into existence, right? Anyways, going
Yeah.
forward, we will explain. We will discuss all the limitations whatever we have in Excel file and how we overcome that problems by using data types by using databases. Okay, here out of that particular limitations we have one limitation, we have one disadvantage of Excel file, that is you can see here we used employees table, right? So in employees table, I am having one column that is salary. Okay. Usually salary in the sense we can expect some numbers here, right?
Yeah, I got that. But in the char
Okay.
data type, I didn't get that.
Okay. Only
Can you go
you
to
have a doubt about char
a
data type.
char? Yes.
Yeah,
In
actually, I
the
didn't
50.
explain, completely about char data type. While creating the table, I'll explain you by taking one example.
Okay,
Basically,
okay then.
whenever we wanted to define textual data, we will use character or string data type. Both are same. In some resources, you can find it as character data type. In some resources, you can find it as string data type. Both are same. Basically, we have two types of data types here. One is char and another one is varchar. Okay. Detailedly, I'll explain you while creating this table just now. Okay.
Okay, then got it.
Okay, perfect. So, yeah, employees table. The table name is employees, and the first column is employee ID. I'm taking the same column names: employee ID, employee name, salary, and date of joining. Right. So for employee ID column, I I wanted. I mean, we are expecting only numbers in the employee ID column, so I'll define int as a data type. Right. Int and float are the two data types of numeric data types. Right. Float in the sense decimals also. Int in the sense only numbers. So employee IDs, I'll give only numbers here. That is the reason I defined int as a data type. Okay, comma. Second column, employee name. Okay, this is character data, right? So I said whenever we are giving character data, we can use char or varchar. For now, I'm using char. And I said one more point here. Whenever we are defining character data, we will define size also. Then what is this in the sense? Here, after defining character data, we need to define size within the brackets. Here, within the brackets, I'm defining size as 10. So what is this in the sense? Suppose I'll just write it here. Employee name char of 10. So we need to, whenever we are defining character data, we need to define size. Here, size is nothing but we are allocating memory for that particular column name. Here, employee name is my column name, and I am giving textual data. I am giving data type as character, I mean char data type, and I am defining size as 10. Here, size will indicates the memory allocation. I am allocating 10 bytes of memory this employee name column, and here each byte will take each character. In each byte, I can able to store single character. As I am defining 10 as size, that means I can, I can enter up to 10 characters only in this employee name column. Okay, so accordingly, whatever data, I mean, anyways, we will have a little bit idea about what kind of data we will enter in that particular column name, right? Accordingly, we need to define the size. We can define how much we want. If we can, if you want, we can define it as 50, 100, no problem. But if I am each byte of memory will occupy one single character. That means here I am giving 10 as a size. So I can enter up to 10 letters only, 10 letter word. That is, can use 3-letter word, 4-letter word, like that. 10 we can use. If I'm giving 11 letter or 12 characters or 12 letter word, it won't accept, it will throw us error because we are allocating only 10 bytes of memory for this particular employee name column. Okay, is this clear about the size?
Yes, means that here if I define char in bracket 10 or 11, it will take only 10 or 11 characters like that.
Correct.
It means.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. Suppose if I am defining 50, I can enter up to 50 characters. I mean 50 letters we can enter in that particular employee name column. It won't accept beyond that. Okay. So this is about every time whenever we are giving character, textual data or character data, we need to define size. That size is nothing but we are allocating the memory. Each byte will occupy only one character, and accordingly only it will accept the data. Okay, so then what is the difference between char and varchar? I will say in a while. Okay, for now I just gave char, but what is char, what is varchar, what is the difference between them? Once after creating this table and inserting the data, I'll explain you really detailedly. Okay, but I hope up to here it is clear.
Yeah, only like letters, not special characters. Only like alphabets, not like hyphen, comma, nothing like that. Only
No, no, no,
10 means.
no. We can no, no, no. We can. It will accept special characters also. Each character,
Okay.
if it is special character, also single byte. Each character,
Oh,
single bytes. Okay,
okay.
perfect. So employee ID, employee name. Third column is salary column. I'm giving float because float will accept decimals also and numbers also. So to be on the safe side, I wanted to give float as a data type. And the next uh, date of joining. For that, I'm giving date data type because we will enter dates here. Right? So that's it. This is our table. See, create table. Table name is employees. Within the brackets, we need to define column names. For each column name, we need to define the data types. Okay, employee ID number. So I gave int, employee name, character data. Salary, we gave float. Date of joining, we gave date. Right, and at the end, we need to close this bracket. Okay. Now I'm selecting this. Let me execute, and it got executed successfully. So let's refresh. Now you can see we can able to expand the tables, and you can see we got the first table, that is employees. If I'm selecting here in the information section, we can able to see table name, column names, and the data types, whatever we define, right? So this is how we will create the table. Now we created the table. So first let's insert the data inside it. So the table, by using create command, we can able to create only table structure. Table structure in the sense table name and column names and data types. To insert the data inside it, to enter the data inside it, or to insert the data inside it, we will use insert command. We have one more command called as insert. It is used to enter data into the table. Okay. So the syntax will be insert into table name values, and we need to give the values within the brackets. Okay, let's do it. Insert into table name is employees values. We need to enter the values in the same sequence of column names, in whatever sequence. First employee ID, next employee name, next salary, next date of joining. In the same sequence, we need to give the data. First employee ID. So wait, so I'm giving one employee ID. Employee name, I'm giving as some name. Next salary. Next date of joining. We need to use the same format. First year, then month, then date. Okay. If you observe here, this is my first row of data, and each column we are separating here by using a comma, right? That means here comma is separating our column value. This is first column, second column, third column, like that. And if you observe, for character data and for dates, I used single quotes. Numbers only we will give it directly. For character data and for dates, we need to keep it inside quotes. It can be single quotes or it can be double quotes, no problem. Anything is fine, but we need to keep it inside quotes. That is a rule. Okay, so this is the first row. Okay, after that, the bracket is closed, and if I wanted to give multiple rows values here itself, then I can keep a comma, and I need to insert I can insert second row data inside another bracket. Basically, within the brackets, column separates. I mean, sorry, within the brackets, comma separates column value, and after brackets, if you are keeping a comma, that means it is separating rows. Okay, this is first row of data, and whatever I'll enter in these brackets will be the second row of data. Okay, like this, how many rows we want, that many rows we can enter. Okay, let me enter third row also. Okay, I just entered 4 rows of data. Okay, so within the brackets, we need to give the first row like that, this after brackets, whatever comma is there, it is separating the row values. So 4 rows I gave. Now let's insert. I'm selecting everything. And if you observe here, names, I used small names only because I defined 10 as the size, right? We will see that error also. First, let me execute this. It got executed successfully, right? So the data got inserted. Okay. So now by using create command, we created the table structure. By using insert command, we inserted the data inside the table. Okay. Now to display the data, we have one more command, that is select command. Basically, select is used to display the data. Okay. The syntax will be select star from table name. Basically, technically we will call this star as asterisk. Okay. The star, we will call it as asterisk, or else normally we can even, say it as star for our convenience. Basically, we will use that. This is used to display complete data. Whenever we wanted to display the complete data from the table, we will use star or asterisk. Okay. Suppose if I say select star from table name, that is employees. Okay. So whenever we are using star, that means I wanted to display the complete data from the table. Okay. So I wanted to display here the complete data from employees table. Let's see. Let me execute. Here I got my complete data. I am having 4 columns: employee ID, employee name, salary, date of joining, and we entered 4 rows of data. Correct? Like whenever we wanted to display the complete table data, we will use star. Suppose if you wanted to display any particular data, then we will use that particular column name. For example, if I say select employee name, comma salary. I don't want to display the complete data. I only wanted to display employee name and salary. So that particular column names we can write instead of star. Okay? From table name. Remaining everything is same only. If you want complete data, star. If you want any particular data, that particular column name you need to write. Okay, let's check. You can see we got only that particular columns, right? So select is used to display the data. Okay. So now let's check about this. We defined the size as 10 for character, for employee name column. Only size, we define the size as 10. That means we can enter up to 10 characters only. But what is the error we will get if I enter more than 10 characters? Let's check now. Okay. So once again, I'm trying to insert the data. So I'll just copy. I'll write it here. I'll change the data, maybe 5th row. Okay. So here I'm trying to give randomly longer data more than 10. Okay. This is character data. I just randomly gave more than 10 characters here. Okay. And I'll try to execute this and let's check what will happen. Definitely, I got an error stating, you can even see the error message here. What is the message? Data too long for column employee name, right? It is saying very clearly data for employee name column, you gave data, it is very long because I defined only size as 10. That is, I'm allowed to enter up to 10 characters only. I entered more than 10 characters. The data is too long for me to enter into this particular employee name column. That is the error. Whenever we do any mistakes, we will, clearly we will get error messages. By seeing that, we can even understand what mistake we did. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So, right. We understood how to create the database. We saw activating the database. We understood how to create the tables. We understood about data types. And then insert command is used to insert the data into the table. Select command is used to display the data, right? Whenever we wanted to see the output, the complete table data, we will use select command. Okay. Now the only thing, whatever left over is about char and varchar. Let's discuss about. So Very important interview question. Char versus varchar. What is the difference between char and varchar is one of the frequently asked important interview questions. Okay. So what is the main difference between char and varchar in the sense? So let me take the same example of employee name column. Okay. The employee name column. Now I'm defining char as a data type and I'm defining size as 10. What will happen whenever we do like this at the back end? Just to make you understand, I'll take one box and I'll explain. So we defined 10 as a memory. So I'm dividing this box into 10 divisions. Okay. So if I wanted to enter any employee name, John, suppose let's John, what will happen? 10 bytes of memory. The size here is nothing but we are allocating the memory. Here we allocated 10 bytes of memory, right? So as I said, each byte will occupy each character. So what will happen? If I wanted to enter John, J will take this place, O in this box, H in this box, N in this box. Actually, I entered only 4-letter word. That is 4 bytes of memory is used. Out of 10 bytes, only 4 bytes is used. Remaining 6 bytes of memory, whatever leftover is there, if we are using char data type, what will happen? The leftover bytes, it will be filled with the blank spaces like this. Okay. If I am entering only 4-letter word also, still the total 10 bytes of memory is being used if we are using char data type. The leftover bytes of memory will be occupied with the blank spaces. It will by default take blank spaces in the remaining bytes of memory, whatever leftover. So what whenever we are using char, what will happen? How much size we are defining, the complete size will be used. The some complete size will be occupied. The complete size will be used for this employee name column itself. If it is required or not required, it doesn't matter. Whatever leftover is there, simply it will take blank spaces and the complete 10 bytes of memory will be used for this particular column name only. So I can say with this, our memory will be wasted, correct? Unnecessarily, because I want only 4 bytes of memory because I entered only 4-letter word, but still it is using complete 10 bytes for the same employee name column itself. So I can say whenever we use char, memory wastage will happen. Okay, we will face memory wastage issue if we use char data type. Okay, suppose instead of taking one more box, let's consider our I'll use the same box and I'll try to explain. Now, instead of char, suppose if I define varchar, we have two data types in character data. One is char and the second one is varchar. If I define varchar here, what will happen? For the varchar also, definitely we need to define the size. So here again, I'm defining 10 as the size. Instead of taking one more box, I'll explain in the same box with a different color maybe. So now I defined varchar as the size and now I'm trying to enter any another word, maybe right here. So Ram, I'm entering Ram. So R in the first box, A in second box, M in third box. Completely, totally, it will take only 3 bytes of memory. Correct? For this name, only 3 bytes are required. Whenever we define varchar, what will happen? Whatever data we are entering, only that particular bytes of memory will be used. Remaining here 3 bytes are used. Again, 7 bytes of memory will be left over from here. Correct? The 7 bytes of memory, whatever left over here, will not be used for this employee name column. It will be given back to the database. Okay. If we are using char, what will happen? Whatever data we are entering, remaining bytes of memory will also be used simply by taking blank spaces, so that I can say memory wastage will happen whenever we use char. Whereas whenever if we use varchar, how much data we are entering, that much memory only will be used for this employee name column. Remaining leftover memory which is unused, that will be given back to the database. So I can say here memory wastage won't take place, right? Our memory is not being wasted. the remaining bytes of memory will be allocating back to the database. Am I clear?
Yes, got it.
Yes.
So that is a main important difference between char and varchar. If we are using char, our memory will be wasted because of this reason, character data, char will be called as we will called as fixed data type, because whatever memory, whatever size we are defining, the complete memory will be allocated to the employee name. That will be fixed. If I'm using 50 here, bytes will be allocated to employee name column only. If we are using or not using, it will be fixed. That is the reason it is called as fixed data type. Whereas varchar is called as variable length data type. It is called as variable length data type because how much we define here also, if I am defining 50 size also, but if I enter only 6-letter word or 10-letter word, remaining 40 bytes of memory won't be used. It will be given back to the database. Variable is nothing but characters. Okay, how much, whatever the length of the characters will be there, that much memory will only be used in varchar, right? Suppose if I'm entering 10-letter word, only 10 bytes of memory will be used. So that is the reason varchar is called as variable length data type. Variable is nothing but characters only. According to the character length only, the memory will be used in varchar, right? Because of that only, char is called as fixed data type, or else even I can say fixed length data type. Varchar is called as variable length data type. But the main important point is that memory will be wasted here. Memory will be wasted in char. In varchar, memory won't be wasted, right? One more point. In char, we can store up to 255 characters only. Up to 255 only, I can define the size up to 255 only. I can't give 256. It is not acceptable because the size is limited to 255 only. 255 characters only we can store in char. Whereas in varchar, we can store up to 64,538, I guess. In notes, I'll give you very clearly. Just consider it as 64. Okay. So 64,000, up to 64,000 characters we can use in varchar. Okay. So these are some points, or I can say differences between char and varchar. One of the important interview questions. Any doubts here?
Yeah. One more doubt over here. Actually, in the varchar, suppose if I define it the length as 10, okay. In
Yes.
the real time, if I get the length as 20, then what will happen at that time?
See, you are saying you already defined the size as 10. You entered maybe 20-letter word. That is what you're saying, right? So definitely you will get this error that data too long for the column. Still, if you wanted to use the same data, then what you can do, you can increase the size of the data type.
Okay.
Definitely in real time, what will happen? Someone will create the tables, right? We won't create all the tables. We will start working on the already created ready-made database. We will start working. Whenever, if you wanted to insert any data, whenever you are making any update, if you face an error stating data too long for any particular column name, you need to understand that whoever created the table, they defined the size as small size, whatever data you are entering, that size is small with that data, right? Then at that point of time, still if you wanted to enter the same data, you can increase the size of the data type. Okay, if suppose here it is only 10 is there, I wanted to enter 20. First I need to increase the size to 20 or 30, then you can enter that particular data. How to increase the size of the data type which is already created, we will learn in going forward sub languages concept.
Okay.
Any other doubts, anyone? If it is clear, we will start a new concept today, that is sublanguages. I hope it is clear up to here, right?
Yes, Divya.
Perfect. So let me open a new file and our next concept will be sublanguages. Okay. So as I said yesterday, we have some commands in SQL commands. And all the commands are divided into 5 types of sublanguages. Basically, we have 5 types of sublanguages. Those are DDL, DML, DCL, DCL, and DQL or DRL. Okay. So let me explain the full forms also here. Let me mention the full forms. DDL in the sense data definition language. DML in the sense data manipulation language. DCL data control language. DCL in the sense transaction control language. DQL in the sense data query language. Or DRL in the sense data retrieval language. Okay. Both are same. In some resources you can see it as DQL, or in some resources you can find it as DRL. DQL in the sense data query language, DRL in the sense data retrieval language. Basically, both are same only. Okay. So 5 types of sub languages are there, and all the commands whatever we have in SQL, all the commands are divided under this 5 sub languages. Okay. So what are those commands? In the sense under DDL we have 5 commands. It is create, drop, truncate, alter. Okay. So create, drop, alter, truncate, and rename. These 5 commands comes under DDL. Okay. Next, DML. Under DML, we have 3 commands, that is insert, update, and delete. Under DCL, we have 2 commands, that is grant and revoke. Okay. Next, under TCL, we have 3 commands, that is commit, rollback, and save point. Okay. Next, under DQL or DRL, we have only 1 command, that is select. You can see in this picture, we have 5 types: DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and DQL. Under DDL, create, drop, alter, truncate, and rename. DML, insert, update, delete. DCL, grant and revoke. TCL, commit, rollback, and save point. And DQL, we have select command. Okay, now let's try to understand. I think. Okay. You can able to see my screen, right? This picture?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So let's try to understand each and every command here. Okay. First, DDL. Very important commands. Every command we will use in real time, definitely. So under DDL, we have 5 commands. First one is create command, which we already saw. We already created the table. We already saw the syntax of create, right? But first, let me tell you about create command. Basically, create command is used to create any database object. Okay. What is database object in the sense? It can be table, it can be views, it can be stored procedure. Okay, all of them we will call it as objects, database objects. Table is a database object, view is also an object, procedure is also an object. So to create all of this, we will use create command only. For now, we are concentrating on tables. We already saw the create table syntax. Whenever we are discussing about views concept, in that class, we will see create syntax for creating views. And then in procedures class, we will see create syntax for creating procedure. But for now, let's concentrate on tables first. So already we discussed about the create syntax. So I'm not repeating, I'm just copying this. Okay. We know how to create the table, right? Create table name. We need to define the columns, and for every column, we need to define the data types. So I'm not taking again another example. We are done with create command, right? So let's see about drop command. So drop is a command which is used to remove any table permanently from the database. Suppose we already created a table, but then we realized that table is of no use. We wanted to remove that table permanently from the database. Then we need to use the drop command. Syntax will be simple: drop table name. Okay. And not only the tables, if you wanted to remove the complete database also, you can use drop command only. Syntax will be to remove database. Also, we will use drop command. The syntax will be drop database name. Okay. If it is table, we will say drop table name. If it is database, we will say drop database name. Okay. So let's see this example. And to see this example, let me create one more table because I don't want to disturb this employees table. So let me create one more table, maybe with the same data. I'll just copy 1 second. So as I said, if you remember, every time table names and database names should be unique. If you are creating the tables with the same names or the databases with the same names, it will throw an error. I already created employees table, but if I execute one more time, it will throw me error stating table employees already exists, right? Every time we need to give the unique names here. So I'm just changing the name to employees 1. Okay. And I'll insert the data. Just to show you drop command, I'm using this. That is the reason. I'm using the same with a different name. I'm giving it as employees 1. I'm selecting this. Try to insert the data. Oh shit, I didn't execute this, I guess. Let me execute this. Create table employees 1. It got executed. Now I'm inserting the data into employees 1. It got inserted. Let's display the data. Select star from employees 1. Okay. Now we got the employees 1 table, right? The table name is employees 1. We have 4 columns and 4 rows. Now let's use drop command on this employees 1 table. I don't want to disturb. Let me refresh here. You can see we have employees table and employees 1 table. I don't want to disturb employees table. That is the reason I recreated the same table with a different table name so that we can use drop command. Now I can say drop table name, that is employees 1, right? Basically, drop command is used to remove any table permanently from the database. If I don't want to use this table, if I wanted to remove, I can use this drop syntax, right? So the syntax will be drop table name. Let's execute. See, it got executed and you can see here employees 1 table is removed. Only now I have 1 table. And if I execute select star from employees 1 now, it will throw me error stating table doesn't exist because just now we removed it, right? The complete table structure and the data inside the table, everything will be removed by using drop command. I hope it is clear.
Yes, it is clear.
Perfect. Next, we have alter command. Very important. We have 5 use cases in alter command. That is, in 5 ways we can use this alter command. Let's see one by one. Okay. The first use case is that alter command is used to add new column the existing table. Okay. So by using create command, we can define the columns. We know that, right? We define some columns here by using create table syntax. Okay, while creating the table itself, we can define the columns. But sometimes In the already existing tables, if we wanted to add, if we wanted to include any new columns, it will happen, right? Suppose already the table is created. Now I have a requirement that I wanted to add one more column to that particular table. At that time, we cannot use create command again. We need to use alter command. Okay, here employees table is there. We are having 4 columns, that is employee ID, employee name, salary, and date of joining. Just now, I wanted to add one more column to this table, maybe bonus column. Okay, so now to add any new column in the already existing table, we will use alter command. The syntax will be alter table, table name. We need to use a keyword called as add. Add column, column name, and data type. What we are doing here, basically, what is the meaning, English meaning of alter? It means change, right? We wanted to change this table, and what table? The table name we will give. What change we are expecting? We wanted to add a new column, so we will say add column. Whatever column name we wanted to give, that column name we need to give. And whenever we are defining column names, definitely we need to define data type also. Even we will define data types while defining the column names in table also, right? Create table also. Here also, whenever we are defining column name, we need to define the data type. Okay. So let's see the example. Alter table employees. In employees table, I wanted to add a column, and the new column name is bonus. Bonus column I wanted to add, and I'll give float as a data type so that it can accept decimal values also. Okay, like that. Let's check. I'm executing this. Okay, it got executed. Let's refresh. Now you can see we got bonus column here, right? Last. Let's display the data and click. Just added the column. We didn't inserted the data. That is the reason we can able to see like the column will be added, but inside the data it is showing null because I didn't give values it. I just added the column, right? Like that. Okay. So whenever you wanted to add any new column to the already created table, you can use alter command. This is one use case. And the second use case of alter command is it is used to remove any existing column or else any column from the existing table. Okay. Add the new column also, we will use alter command only. To remove any already existing column also, we need to use alter command only. Okay, someone already created the table, or else I only created the table. Later I realized that I don't want any particular column in that table. It is useless. So instead of wasting the memory, I can remove that column, right? So to remove the column, again, we will use alter command only. Okay, the syntax will be alter table, table name. Now I need to use a keyword called as drop. What I wanted to drop, I wanted to drop column here. Drop column, column name. If you remember, drop is one specific command we have in SQL. Whenever we wanted to drop the table, we will say drop table, table name. If you wanted to drop database, we will say drop database, database name. If you wanted to drop column, we need to use drop column, column name, but we need to use it inside alter command. Okay, drop keyword here, this is not a command. Drop is a keyword which we will use inside alter command. Okay, alter table, table name, drop column, column name. Let's see, alter table, table name is employees. Okay, drop column, the column name is bonus. Let me remove the same column name whatever we created just now. Okay, let's check. I'm executing. It got executed. Let's refresh. Now you can see bonus is removed. Right, let me execute this select star from employees, and you can see bonus is removed. I got my previous data, right? I hope it is clear.
Yeah, one more thing, dear. Actually, as I see, you are selecting some lines and you are running it. Means only particular that lines are executing. We are not running the whole file.
And not running the whole file. Whatever we are selecting, that will only be executed. Every time we need to select. How much long our query is also, we need to select it and then we need to execute it.
Oh, means suppose if I write 50 lines, okay, okay, line by line, manually I need to execute, not in a single shot. I can execute the full file.
I mean, we need to select the entire code and then we need to execute.
Okay.
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 Yeah. So the third use case is, that is what we discussed, whatever we discussed previously, data type. Whenever we, not data type, the size in character data, where is, yeah, in this file. In character data, as you asked previously, if we wanted to change the size of the character data, right? If I defined already 10, but then I wanted to enter 20 bytes, then what will happen? Basically, we will get an error stating data is too long. Still, if you wanted to enter the same data, we need to change the size of the data type, right? So to change the size of the data type also, we will use alter command only. That is the third use case. Alter command is used to change the size of the data type. Not only the size, even it will change the data types also. It is used to change the data types, or we say data types or size of the data type. The existing, or else for the existing column. Suppose I employee ID column is there. I defined int as a data type. Then I wanted to change it float. Then we will use the same syntax, or else, as I said, I defined char. I defined n as a size for char, but now I wanted to increase the size. I wanted to change it to 20. In this scenario also, we will use the same syntax. Whenever we wanted to change complete data type also, we will use the same syntax. But the thing is that if I already defined the size as, the data type as integer, int data type, I already entered the data. Now, if I'm trying to, change that data type to char, it won't accept because I already entered numerical data into this particular data type. Whenever we are changing the data types, that should be the same kind, right? We can change char to varchar or varchar to char. We can change int to float and float to int. We can change date to date time, but we cannot change int to the date, char to the date. Like that, we cannot change if we already entered the data. If the data is not entered, then that is fine. Did you got my point?
Yes, good.
Yeah, like that. Suppose we just created the table, we didn't inserted the data. If you really wanted to change int to character, then you can change. But if there is already data, if we already entered numbers in that particular column, I cannot define that column to another type completely. Like, character data, date data, I can't give. Within that particular type itself, we can change, like int to float, char to varchar, date to date time, like that. Okay. So let's check
One
first.
question.
Yes,
If
please.
the data is null, can we change in that case?
Data is null. That is what? If the data is null, in the sense we didn't, if you particularly, suppose cases here again, if you didn't inserted the data, previously we saw that for bonus column, we didn't inserted the data, it is by default showing us null. And in the
Okay.
second case, we can manually insert null values also. If we inserted null values also, no problem. If everything in the complete column, the data is completely null, not in only in a single row. Suppose, for example, employee ID is there. In employee ID column, in first row I'm having 1, in the second row I'm having null, in the third row I'm having 3. I can't change this null. Now I can't change this into char because already 1 and 3 is there in another rows, right? Suppose
Okay.
instead of that completely in all the values, if I'm having null, that is fine. I can change into character data, I can change into dates, no problem, because everywhere we have null, right?
Whether is by default or manually entered null, we can
Manually
change it.
entered also, no problem.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks.
if specifically we entered, intentionally we entered null values also, no problem. We can change the data type. Okay. First, let's check this, syntax, and then I'll end the session. The syntax here is used to change the data type. What we will do here, alter table name, Here we will use a keyword called as modify. Okay, modify column new data type. This is a syntax. For example, alter table employees is the table name, modify keyword column, and we understood just now the difference between char and varchar. If we are using char, our memory is being wasted. So let me change that to varchar. I'm leaving the size as 10 only. I'm just changing it to varchar. Okay. Directly new data type we need to give it. So let me select. Let me insert. You have alter table name, modify column new data type. Column name, right? Sorry. Employee name. Syntax error we will get sometimes if we do any mistakes in the syntax, it will just throw us syntax error in your SQL syntax. I forgot to give the column name here. Modify column name new data type. Employee name column we are changing it to varchar. Execute, it got executed successfully. Now let's refresh and check. Here char is changed to varchar, right? Like that. And if you remember yesterday I said one point, almost the syntaxes will be same in all the data types, right? I mean, all the databases. It can be Oracle SQL, SQL Server, MySQL, all the syntaxes will be same. Very rarely there will be small changes. Up to here, whatever we discussed, all the syntaxes are same in every database. You can use the same syntax even in SQL Server also. Everywhere it is same except this one. Okay, this particular syntax, whatever we saw, whenever we wanted to change the data types or size, whatever I wrote, this syntax is applicable only in MySQL. Okay, in other databases, maybe like SQL Server, modify keyword doesn't exist, so we cannot use modify keyword. There the syntax will be alter. Instead of modify, again we need to use alter only. In SQL Server, if you use SQL Server, whatever queries, just for knowledge purpose, I'm saying this point, whatever queries we wrote till now, everything will work except this one because no modify keyword won't be available there. Only in MySQL, we need to use this modify keyword. In any another databases, we need to use alter only again. Alter table name, alter column name, new data type. Okay.
Even for Oracle also,
Yeah, Oracle also same.
we need to use alter.
Alter only. Modify is only for MySQL. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
And if we want to separate the queries from one query to another, we need to use that comments only, or is there any other option?
One query to another.
Yeah, like in SQL Developer for Oracle, we'll use keyboard shortcut to run the query, right? Is there any shortcut like that for this IDE?
Shortcuts to run the queries you are saying?
Yeah, like control enter we can use, I think, right? In SQL Developer.
Yes, same.
Here also same.
Here also same. We can use control enter. Okay. And if you wanted to execute multiple queries at a time, we need to give semicolon, which I will say tomorrow. Okay. We are almost late. Okay. So let me continue. Tomorrow is our last demo class. Okay. We'll continue the class from here. Tomorrow also you can attend by using the same link. But if you really like the content and if you really like the way of my explanation and if you are suitable with this timings, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST, you can get registered with us. You will get the details from our admin team or else the details has already been shared in the chat box also. Tomorrow will be the last demo. Whoever will, get registered with us day after tomorrow, that is on Thursday, a new Zoom link will be sent to you. Follow that link and attend the session on Thursday. But tomorrow, the same link, and tomorrow will be our last demo. Okay. Any questions, anyone?
Is there any other timing or only this timing is available right now?
For now, this timing, Surya. Actually, from last
Okay.
5-6 batches, I'm taking at 7 p.m. So I'm getting requests to take it 8 p.m. That is the reason, at this time, for this batch, this slot is given for me.
Okay.
Why is this timing not suitable for you?
No, right now it is suitable, but like after few days, I'm not sure. Then I will go through the recordings in case I'm not able to.
That is I mean that option will be there for you. Whenever you can able to attend, you can attend, or else even videos will be available. If you have any doubts, you can attend any of the class and you can ask me the doubts of the previous classes also, no problem.
Okay, okay. But right now, any morning sessions are not there,
Morning,
right?
I'm not taking Surya from so long. Almost it's been 1 year. Previously, I used to take morning also, but nowadays I'm not taking it in the morning sessions.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
thanks.
right. Okay then. Let's meet in tomorrow's class. Bye.